So as you can see from the examples, I really enjoy print media as a key public relations activity because I find print, if you choose the right type of media, you will hit the right target audience. Do you know what I mean? So specifically when I do seek out these opportunities, I go for education specifically or employment, or I look for who would fit in that demographic of secondary purchases. So parents, for example, parents who have the capability to invest in tuition, things like that. So everything is very, very strategic when you're doing public relations, and it's better to focus on a small niche market rather than hit everybody at once. Okay, so that's just something I've discovered. I have been on TV a few times, which is pretty cool. I was trying to find it this morning actually. You know, Today Tonight, the show. Yep. That was. I guess that was one of the coolest experiences. Actually, I might have a picture. Oh, sorry. What happened is the company. I was in another print media for property, which is another passion of mine. Today Tonight and also Channel 9 found out about this particular article which was printed. So in one day, both companies called me and said, we want to interview you straight away. I basically didn't have a chance to prep for it. Like I just went in there, they sat down with me and I just rolled with it. And that's what I was saying, as a public relations manager, or whether you're in your own business or a contractor, you've got to be ready for any interview at any time. So it can happen. It can be in person, can be on the phone, can be email, you name it, it's going to happen. And normally, I've been finding through the experiences that once one source gets a hold of you and it's a good article, somehow someone else finds out the same day or the next day, because it spreads like wildfire. If you do a good example, I'm not sure if you saw the Gold Coast Bulletin, something or social media. Yesterday or the day before, there was a camera that captured an accident. Okay, that was my friend's video, and he sent it to a company, and that company sent it to the media, and it just went like wildfire. So a lot of people found out on the Gold Coast, but it's just how word of mouth gets around really quickly in the media sense. And I guess to be good in public relations, you really just have to be comfortable in yourself. You know, be comfortable in saying, you know, this is what truth is. You know, being willing to answer questions really, really openly, because the media, you never know what they're going to ask you. You know, so it's better to be honest than try and sugarcoat something, because you know, you've got to be ethical in all of your dealings with particularly the media. So that's something I experienced. Obviously, for women, if you can have a hairbrush handy with you, is good, because you've got to try to look good as much as you can if you are caught off guard like that. Also, when you do go for any pitches, so say if you see an advertisement where they're looking for someone for the media, to make sure you give all your contact details straight up, and always give a mobile number as well. Because I remember I did an interview for ABC or one of those companies, and the woman was complaining to me that all the candidates who had pitched for this media did not give a mobile number, so she couldn't contact anyone else. So I was lucky to get the interview because of just one small little step. So that was so that's something. Make yourself accessible as much as you can. If you have to do interviews in the night time, like late at night or early in the morning, just say yes. I think the more yeses you say, the better chance you have of getting in the media in some capacity. I also think too, being yourself and being comfortable in yourself is really important as well, because the media is going to try to depict you in some way, and you've got to make sure, whether you're the business owner or whether you're the PR manager, that you represent everything honestly, both the business and also your role as well. So that's really important. If you're happy to let your extrovert side come out, that's also really useful in public relations, because if you can develop, I guess, your ability to talk confidently in front of people, so doing, you know, you have presentations at uni that you have to do, these are great practice for when you get the opportunity to speak in front of a crowd or do some kind of person-to-person public relations. So public relations to me takes many different forms. So you've got your print advertising, which is the common one which we You've got your TV forms. You've got attending to big events, doing speeches, things like that. You've got awards where you need to attend and meet people person to person. Many different avenues which you can exercise, but it's just a matter of choosing the one which is going to be specific to your target audience. So I guess I've been really lucky in my career to also meet some pretty amazing people. Like I met Gina Reinhardt, the mining expert. Yeah, I met her at a function, and I actually got a photo of her. It's in there. There's like 50 photos, but it's in this particular folder. Yeah, really happy to meet her. And you can tell someone like that really has to be able to carry themselves well in the media because of the attention that their business takes. What else? I was with our mayor just the other day, which was really nice. Got to meet him, and I think he's excellent at public relations, and that he speaks very confidently at breakfasts, whatever. I find him quite approachable as well. So I think if you're going to do public relations, it's important to make yourself approachable, and that people can talk to you in person without being scared of you. It's really important. What else? I guess public relations, it's a really fun career to go into. I think I may have chosen it potentially full time as if I hadn't done what I've done now, because it's almost like a game sometimes, a game which you've got to learn how to play properly, but you have to do it carefully yourself, because sometimes public relations, most of the time you can get really good public relations, but sometimes you've got to resolve issues as well. So for now, we were lucky to be on Today Tonight in a positive interview, so that was nice. Channel 9 also featured us that same day, so we had full footage of the office in Ashmore Road, which is where we do most of our business. So they went around with cameras and the lights, all the bells and whistles. That was exciting, and they put it on the news that same night, so that was good. I did want to get a copy of it, but they said they don't do out copies somehow. But it was good. It was good exposure for the business, in that people suddenly knew Exceptional is the leading tuition company on the Gold Coast, and resume writing became a byproduct, and that's why we do a lot of byproduct work now. It's important, I think, to do good public relations as well, because if you're in an industry which is really competitive, so you have a lot of sole traders and companies, private companies, whatever, you need to make sure that you can stand out in some capacity. So I think that's one of the elements which helps the Exceptional brand to go well on the Gold Coast, is through public relations, because it's become really well known. We've recently expanded our mobile team to Brisbane and Melbourne and Perth. So my next goal is to hit those markets really hard and make sure that we become known in those markets. And again, it's a different location, so obviously my choice of public relations has to be very careful. I have to do market research to find out what are our competitors doing, which media is our parents reading, or our students reading, or even our job seekers. What is the best way to target that area? Because I can say Gold Coast is a good location to start your PR career if you're going into it. It's quite small, but it's a very well connected location. So this person and this person, like funny Steve, you knew Richard, who's a friend of mine. Yeah. And he was very well known journalist in the Gold Coast for the Business News magazine. So knowing that little 2 degree of separation is fantastic.
I just know him from his byline, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really good. Like if you can build those relationships with journalists.
I think that's the same for Brisbane and the Gold Coast in general. Like I think media know media. So whether you're in public relations or you're in you're a journo, someone knows someone who knows someone.
Yeah.
So, right. It's quite a good area to start off with.
Exactly. But I was really lucky. I even got to put my opinion on when they're bidding the G-Link. We used to have our office in Surfers Paradise right on the G-Link. Like we had a huge billboard, best location. But because it was a bit messy, I moved our office to Vanilla. But Sydney newspaper got a hold of me and said, "What do you think of the G-Link being developed here when your business is right there in the construction site?" So I gave it an opinion, but straight away that gave me the opportunity to put Exceptional in Sydney. you know. And even though we don't have a team of tutors in Sydney, we can still target our online students who need help, or we can target potential resume clients in the Sydney arena. So as you can see, if you say yes to more interviews, the more positive attention you should be able to attract to your business. I also think public relations is nice at expos as well. That's another opportunity. So next week, some of my interns, because I take on interns from all over Griffith. So I'm lucky to have the PR interns. I have HR interns. I have interns from the WIL program. So I'm going to take them to the Pharmacy Expo with me, where they talk about careers for the pharmacy students. And basically, my team will be out there just being themselves, being silly, and you know, building that kind of positive environment for our clients. Because this is one thing I have decided as part of the Exceptional brand, is to make it a company which is not stuck into a company. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't stand boring people, and I don't want my tutors to be boring, nor my team to be boring. So I just let them go, let them be free, let them run around with our sign above their heads and do whatever they think is good. Because if you have that charismatic energy as a director, you're naturally going to filter that to your team, and your team will naturally filter that to your clients. And that's a form of a good business. A lot of people, you know, think, oh, resume business can't be fun, can it? Because, you know, resumes are serious applications which people go for jobs. But the thing is, we have a really good success rate in getting people into interviews, and that's all we need to do. Once someone's in an interview, they can get the job on their own merits. But we make that even a fun experience, in that when our clients come to our office, they love it. They love meeting Baby, our office dog, you know, because we make it chilled out, you know. Because if someone is relaxed, they're naturally going to perform at their best when we interview them to find out what we can. We draft documents, they send it to their employers, they get the interview. Easy done. So for my interns, guys like dogs, still have a dog around. So yes, I think it's important in public relations to really enjoy the experience. Do you know what I mean? Make the most of it. See how, you know, you can be yourself in public relations, because that's what the media wants to see. That's what the local ordinary person wants to see, is you in public relations as yourself, and as yourself, that should lead to a good business, so to speak. So I guess that's some of my tips today to give you some insight in what has worked, what to do. Anyone have any questions and how I can help you? Yep.
What sort of social media platforms are you thinking as your next step? Have you got a Twitter account?
We have a Twitter account.
Yep. Okay. And social, and like say Instagram, that kind of thing.
We have all the foundation set for those two.
Yep.
But we haven't got anyone who's actively managing. Because what we do is we focus on Facebook.
Yep.
For the time being. But if my interns want to take care of that, yep, you can definitely look after that. Because obviously we haven't got the expertise in Twitter and Instagram. But we have a foundation set, but that's about it. And my strategy in business is to just allow people who know what they're really doing to take care of those kind of things. So I clearly step away from any kind of accounting. My focus is more on marketing and strategic planning, public relations, and dealing with our clients directly, face to face. So yeah, so that's a great question. Yeah. Any other questions?
I was interested in the move into these other areas, like the homestay and the family daycare.
Yep.
What was your thinking behind that, and are you concerned that it could become too complex?
I've thought about it, but I think because they're both complementary. Because homestay looks after international students coming to Australia, so we have a accommodation facility on the Gold Coast already, very small scale, but it has worked. So what we need to do is inject more attention to that at an international level, so that, for example, China or Japan, prospective clients will see our company. As for the family daycare, I thought that's a good market to go into, because I guess the way it's run is similar to the tuition hours. So yeah, and because we deal with primary school students and high school students, we can see that naturally the age range which we're going to go for is 6 years old to 14. So primary to early high school is complementary. So it's a new initiative which we've just literally gone into. It's going to be a work in progress.
Oh, so it's more like after school.
Yeah, after school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So before school and after school. So if any parents need to put their children in a place to be looked after until school hours, we'll do that, and then we'll take them to school. And also after school as well. So we'll pick them up from school, bring them back to the office, and then they stay there until their parents come. So it's basically resolving the problem of working parents who are either a couple or single and need an alternative to after school care or alternative to childcare. So it's complementary in a way, yeah. And the hours are really good because it fits with our normal operations. Is there a question?
Yeah, I'm just interested in your compliance issues and accreditation.
Yeah, for the
issues.
family daycare.
Obviously child check and all that
Yeah.
was part of the deal, but what about your, you don't deliver education as such, do you?
Oh no, I'm qualified as an educator
Yeah.
in childcare.
And childcare?
In childcare, yeah. Yeah, we've had to go through all the typical legal. What we're doing is
You're not quite RTO.
Oh no,
So
yeah,
you're
definitely.
private contractor, so you're not bound by the RTO and the AQS.
No, because what we're doing is we're contracting to a body which contracts to the government. So we're a supplier.
That was my next question.
Yes.
Are you affiliated or do
Yes,
you
that's
receive a grant of any
No.
description through the jobs network
No.
or?
No, 100% on its own. So
Yeah, independent.
Independent, that's right. That's the best way of
It's
doing
a lot easier.
Exactly right. And look, it's a challenging market to step into because we're against obviously many childcare centres, after school care, to other family daycare services. So that's why having our interns and our marketing team step on board this is the next project is going to be very important. It's important for me to also understand our market, knowing who is going to make that decision, where will we find them, how will we target them specifically in a timely manner, but also in the right media. Because it would be similar to tuition, in that tuition is the education side, but our family daycare is more the care side. So there's a little bit more risk, I would say, but we can do education as well, so it's no problem. So sometimes we might have some parents who may say, can you teach our children? Sure, we can put that into the budget and get that.
Do you audit your contractors?
Yeah, we do
So you have processes involved?
Yeah, to see how they are, yeah. We also rely on feedback from our clients. So obviously, that's goals. When a client tells us that they're happy with our tutors, for example, that's how we know we'll keep them definitely. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when we recruit our tutors, it's a very, very strategic process because we want tutors who are both academically really, really good at what they do, but also they need to have passion for teaching and love working with kids. Because, as I said, the business is not a stuffy tuition company. It's one where it's about the people that we hire. So, yeah. So that's important. If you do work for yourself, to hire the right people who have the same attitude towards your business, but also the same morality as well. It's really important. Any other questions? Okay, I think that's pretty good. Oh, do you?
No, that was excellent, and what I really like about your approach is, at one level it's very simple, and you just added things on, and now got 50 plus
Yeah.
emotional moments there that you know,
Yeah.
and so it's a really good organic way to grow the business.
That's right. Because as I said before, I'm not trained in PR in any shape or form. Basically, I've relied on the ability to connect to people and really understand, and learn and just learn like on the spot. So that's why doing internships is the best way to learn in any way. Like I sometimes wish I had done an internship when I was in uni, but I didn't really find it. but yeah, the hands-on experience you get and combine that with the uni, you would go so far in public relations. And you can definitely start a PR business on the Gold Coast. Just got to work out what's the need. Like who would need your service and what will make you a bit more special than the next PR agent that's rolling around the Gold Coast. So yeah.
As a film operator, do you find that in the beginning, say 2008, 2009, say 2009 really when it started to take off,
Yeah.
that you
I was working literally 7 days a week, morning till night, non-stop. It was hard because I did that, plus I also had a full-time job, because what I had to do is had to self-fund the business. Because when you start a business for the first time, banks are going to say no because you are inexperienced. Probably you're not going to get a loan from family or friends, more likely. And grants, well, I wasn't eligible for anything. So basically, if you're going to be a true entrepreneur, you've got to be self-reliant in every capacity. So yes, I worked really, really hard balancing that. I also was teaching at Griffith Uni as well, in the Murray Centre, which is really wonderful. That's actually how I got my first interest in tuition, is that I was hired as a tutor and I've developed a real love of it, and that's why I turned it into a business. So that was for about 2 years, working really, really hard, stressing myself out, no life, no friends. it was a sacrifice. But at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that you love what you do, because that's what's going to keep you, passionate and persistent in all the challenges. At the 2010 mark, which is when I went to do exceptional tuition resumes, that's when we became a company. Because the first 2 years I was experimenting. I was seeing what works, what doesn't. It was just tuition on its own. It was actually called Inspire Tuition, and it was just me on my own, seeing what is going to work really. In 2010 became exceptional, and then in 2011 I started a second company, which is Exceptional Training, which is not an RTO, it's an alternative. So at that point, say 100 hours, we dropped down to about 80 hours, and then gradually went down. So for the past, I'd say maybe 2 years, I've been lucky.
At what point did you go into premises?
What was that?
At what point did you go into premises?
Oh, premises? It would have been 2011, I think it was.
Because that would separate you from your business, wouldn't it? Your home life from your...
That's right. It's, and at the end of the day, like if you have premises, obviously your costs go up. That's another thing to consider. So I cut it down, so I went to about 100 hours to about 80 hours. In the past 2 years, I managed to knock it down to about 40 hours a week. So I literally just parted, started to work, general full-time hours. I started to have a life. About 8 months ago, I took up Latin dancing, so I danced 5 nights a week. It's my passion, my other passion. So I've got a good work-life balance now. But since taking on these family daycare, I have now started to add more hours, because what's happened is I've gone back into startup phase. So therefore, I've had to add another 20 odd hours or so, 20, 30 odd hours to build that side of the business. So if you go into your own business, you've got to consider, are you willing to make that sacrifice? That you sometimes may have to look a bit harder than someone who's saying a full-time job. Sometimes, I wonder whether it might be a bit easier to work for someone else. But at the end of the day, I do love flexibility of working in my own business. I do love not having a boss. I love being able to, lead the team. It's really important as well. So there's a lot of perks in being in your own business, and I get to choose what I want to do each day. So I don't have to sort of get given directions. I just make the directions. But it is hard work. I would say being an entrepreneur is probably the hardest career you can choose. If you have 2 companies, you're just doubling your stress level. So you just got to decide whether it's for you. Maybe it's best to get some experience prior to going out on your own. So I did manage a tuition company in Brisbane for 3 months prior to starting out. So I wanted to see whether I could manage an education company, whether I had it in me, and I kind of knew I did, because the way my team was really receptive and it was a nice cultural environment. So you got to test the waters, I think, before you go into a business. Consider working for other PR companies, I think, to see what's out there, how do they do it, processes, and then decide, is this what I want to specialise in? So I think specialising is really good. So we specialise in writing, resumes, selection criteria, answers, LinkedIn profiles, and cover letters. Just 4 key documents. But it's work, because you have a market, and that's why you'll see us known for resumes everywhere. So the family daycare is the next step of being known. It may take a couple of years to build. I understand that. Homestay is the next part as well, so that's another project in the works. Just do what you love. It's most important.